Let's go.
Hello, welcome to Can We Talk Sports. I'm Karen.
And I'm Kawashika.
And we have another exciting guest on the show today. I got a chance to go and interview Everest James.
Oh my God, that is amazing. He is a
Hall of Fame. You know what, Can We Talk Sports? I just appreciate all the people who are allowing us to come in and interview. So I was in Florida, and I'm like, okay, I am too close not to go and see him. So I hit him up on Instagram. I was like, I'm 2 hours away. Can I come and get my interview? And he was like, sure. And so I rented a car, and I drove by myself, and I went down there. And he allowed me to come into his space, and I just really appreciate that.
Right. And how was it, Miss Karen?
It was great. You know, Florida rains a lot, but thank God that the day that I went to interview him, it did not rain. So he allowed me to come to a place where he trains kids for football. And so I got there, I got a chance to be able to see the kids working out. Saw him pulling up in his BMW car, and he came out and he was about his business. Okay, I'm ready to interview. So it was great. It was great being able to do it, and I'm just so excited to show everybody about the interview.
Right. Was he humble?
He was very, very humble, and that was the thing about him. I had seen him, he's doing a documentary about himself. And so I just was able to see this humbleness about him. So I was like, Mr. James, can you kind of introduce yourself? And he was like, I don't normally introduce myself. Most people always say, this is Everest James. But I wanted to hear him, see if he was going to say, I'm Everest James, Hall of Fame. You know, some people, some of the athletes sometimes are a little cocky or proud for something, but he wasn't. He was just as humble as he could be, and it was a great interview.
That's great. That's great to hear because, you know, with athletes that paved the way, you know, the kids need to see humble. They need to see honorable, being honorable and respectful. That's how you know, they've learned to be great, you know, move forward in life because pride will cause fall. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always thinking and teaching and, you know, because it's always about life lessons.
Yes.
So a person's character, conduct, and conversation is real big for me. So that's great to hear.
Everybody, watch the video.
This is where I come from. You know, you probably have no idea what it's like to walk through this whole entire apartment within 3-4 seconds. You know, you can run the 40-yard dash in like a 4.4, 4.5. You can walk through that whole house in that amount of time. That right there shows you how small the place is. But I would have never known if I never got a chance to get out of there. This is one of the things that I ended up making a purchase on. You know, once I got able, I ended up purchasing the whole building because it has sentimental value. Now, I'm not gonna walk around and let people pat me on my back and say all these good things because this is the norm. You gotta understand where I'm coming from. I'm coming from poverty. I'm coming from, you know, no other way out. You know, I go all in with football, you know, and when you go all in on something, there's no turning back. You know, you can't sit up there and have a plan B. I didn't have a plan B, C, D. I didn't have nothing. I had one plan, plan A. I'm playing football. I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and I'm gonna get my mama up out that cafeteria. You know, that first day, you know, I got embarrassed, and it was just one drill, real simple. But when you go in that locker room, you got to hear it forever. And from that day forward, I say, hey, I'm gonna make sure I let everybody know that I'm the truth, I'm that deal, I'm the real deal. And it was actually a good thing because from then on, the rest of my career, I've always made sure I took practice serious. I took anytime I was on that field serious, whether it was walkthrough or even just going 50%. I wanted to make sure I was on the right end of things. I am Edgerrin.
Mr. James, how did you get your first name?
Well, my mom named me Edgerrin. I have to get all the history of that from her, but she gave me this name. To my knowledge, I'm the first person in the world with this name, so it means a lot to me.
And so you're doing a documentary called Go Teeth to Go Jacket. Can you kind of tell me what that means?
Well, the documentary is it's kind of like giving a little insight or kind of doing a timeline of the start from football, starting where I started all the way till I got to the NFL. And I ended up getting to the Hall of Fame. So it kind of showing the path in a sense.
When did you remove your gold teeth?
I removed my gold teeth, I think in 07 or 08, was when I got to Arizona. I felt like it was time.
Okay, there was a post that I saw, and that's what interests me. Well, not necessarily interest me, but that's sparked my interest as far as you were talking. You were talking about transferring to a bigger school because you was going to a smaller school, and the post was saying your mom said no, you're gonna stay right here, and so there's a lot of times that athletes kind of think that they need to go to a bigger high school in order to be seen, but that's not your journey. Can you kind of elaborate on why you stayed at the smaller school and how you were able to still be seen?
I think a lot of times, a lot of these kids, they want to go where it's popular or go, to the schools that they feel like is the best, when ultimately when you look at the big picture and you understand the overall, in the grand scheme of things, it's about how good you are. If you're good, no matter where you're at, they're going to find you. And that's one thing that I realized at a young age, that it's about how good you are, not about where you're at. And the schools need you as much as you think you need them.
That's good. See that you're a very humble man. Where do you think that came from?
Well, I think everything came from my family, came from my mom, came from my upbringing. When you come up in a situation where you don't have much, you appreciate things a whole lot more. So it's a lot of hard work that's behind the scenes that you put into positioning yourself. So as far as being humble or anything, it is one of the things that naturally came with the territory, I guess.
And so, when you got drafted, what was the first thing you did for your mom?
When I got drafted, the first thing I did with my mom was the most important thing, was retire her. That's the first thing that I've always wanted to do, and that's one of the things that you set out to do. So once I got drafted, we made the decision that I want to retire her. So I think that's the biggest thing I think any athlete or anybody can do for their mom.
And so tell me how important it is to have a support system as you're moving through the different levels of sports.
Support system is very important. You got to have people that really know you from your beginning, and as you go into this new territory, sometimes those people be the one that keep you grounded, because you're going to you're gonna always encounter all kind of new people and encounter new situations that, you know, if you can do it the second and third time, you probably make a better decision. But the first time is the most important time, and that's where you kind of hang on to the people that you kind of grew up around.
So now there's some new things that are happening right now, and that's with the NCAA allowing your the athletes' likeness for them to profit off of that. Can you tell me, back in your era of time, first of all, your opinion about that, and then tell me in your era of time when you were playing in college, who do you think would be the one that would have made the most money off of their likeness at that time?
I think with what the NCAA ruled on today, or when they made a final rule, they made it where it's possible for athletes. I think it's good for certain athletes, you know, but I think it's going to be something that has to be tweaked as we go. It's new territory. We're going to have a lot of people coming out, you know, trying to take advantage of these kids, and it's yet to be seen. And as far as when I was playing, it goes back to whoever was popular, you know, and that's what it's all about. Whoever was popular, those are the ones that's going to actually have the opportunity to reap the benefits, if there are any benefits, because, you know, sometimes, you know, it could go left. So it's all to be determined.
So I'm from DeSoto, Texas, and in Texas we have taken on the U. We call ourselves the DeSoto U, and we do that because we put a lot of kids in college. A lot of our athletes, you know, we're doing 20 and 30 scholarships into college. And so we, you know, but we know that Miami is the one, the U, you know, you kind of talking. So kind of tell me about your history with Miami and the U and what all that represented in your life.
Well, the University of Miami is a school. It's a school that we all look up to as South Florida people. So, relate. The University of Miami, that's the school that we all look up to as youth. It's the popular school. It's where you want to be. It's the school that provides everything you're looking for. So it was an easy decision to go there, and it always held up its end of the bargain.
Documentary is coming out, and then tell me how people will be able to see it. Where would they have to go to be able to see it?
The documentary is out. It's on my IG, you know, and I kind of use it on my personal platform, and also you can look on YouTube up under my name. And it comes out every Monday, you know, 3 to 4 minutes, just a little insight on my path, a little bit about, you know, the story from Gold Chief to Gold Jacket.
Okay. So, you know, sometimes, you know, athletes, you know, when they first get drafted in the NFL, at that time, that's the time they got the most money they've ever gotten in their lives. So can you kind of share with how you were able to just adjust with that lifestyle and how you were able to stay grounded and something like that?
Well, one thing, you are who you are. No matter if you have money, you don't have money. You know, sometimes when you get money, you become more of what you are and who you are. You know, so it's one of those things where I've always been the same person. And once I got a chance to get some money, you know, it didn't really change me. It just changed my situation. But at the same time, you're still the same person. And I think that kind of holds true with everybody. You know, somebody who's flashy, they get money, they're gonna be flashier. You know, and it's not really hard to figure out.
Tell me something that you would want to, throughout your journey, what you learned, a life lesson that you want to tell an athlete.
For me, is when it comes to athletics, you know, it's about discipline. You know, that's one thing you always tell the discipline on the field, off the field. As long as you keep your discipline and you have discipline that kind of holds you accountable, everything else you can do yourself out.
Well, tell me about when you got the news about being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, you know, the Hall of Fame is one of the lifelong dreams, one thing that I think any player
looks forward to and would hope for. So for me, it was just a dream come true and something I always remember.
So I don't know how, since COVID, that kind of affected Hall of Fame. Did that affect your experience of experiencing the whole experience of being inducted?
Well, I think since COVID, I think it just pushed things back. It just kind of slowed things up. But everything is getting back on track and everything will be good.
And let me ask you this, since a lot of athletes have had to deal with COVID and, they changed, that affected their recruiting and being drafted, how, can you give some advice on how a player could stay grounded during this time of the world just being upside down?
I mean, it comes down to you are who you are. You just have to continue to train and you have to let everything work itself out. It's just like anything. Like you're playing a game, it's a rain delay or anything. It's things like that. You just have to deal with the circumstances and just kind of improvise.
All right, Nadine. Wow. You see what I'm saying? It was a great interview.
Yes, I really love that. Like, everything you said is true. I can actually see it in the video.
Yeah.
And that's what our student athletes need to see.
Yes.
They need to see that.
Yeah.
Examples.
Yes.
Lead by example.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it.
And that's what it was. That really was what it was. He's gone into the league, he's accomplished something, and now he's giving back. He's giving back to other kids in the community. And so because he has that experience, he's able to kind of groom them on what to expect. And that's I think that's really important. Those who have went before to come back, it's so important to give back, come back, to empower those who are trying to come after you. And so that's exactly what he's doing.
Yes. Absolutely. So I totally agree with that.
Hey, let me tell you. What? God, no. If I told him once, I done told him twice. Hey y'all, it's Big Mama. This is a new week. Whoo, no telling what Big Mama didn't do this week. But as always, I made it through. So what I want to do is I want to take some time. I know this happened quite a long time ago, but I want to do a salute to Coach Deion Sanders. He's been making great havoc over with the HBCUs at the Jackson State University. But he had a lot going on. Everybody has this to say about him, that to say about him. But hey, he says, if you don't respect me, at least respect the office. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. I'm Coach Sanders. Address me as such. And so I don't have a problem with that. But speaking of HBCUs, and now for all of you out there, HBCU is our historical black college and universities. Shaq, LSU standout, his son and daughter is now at Texas Southern University, HBCU down in South Texas in Houston. The young lady, the daughter, she was at LSU playing basketball. She's like, no, I'm gonna head over there. So, it is good to see great talent coming. LSU has always been a standout in Louisiana, has always pushed for those great athletes. But those great athletes are saying, you know what, we wanna go where we can make a difference, where we can make a difference. And I'll just leave it at we can make a difference. So at the end of the day, parents, teach your children respect. If they respect themselves, other people will respect them as well. All right, y'all, that's all Big Mama got this week.
All right, you guys, thanks again for watching another great episode of Can We Talk Sports? And if anybody out there has a story to share or would love to be a guest on the show, just hit us up at canwetalksports@gmail.com. See you guys on another show.